Howdy doody, folks. It's 12:30. If there's anybody on, I've got 3 on. There we are. Just looking outside because the current bun's just come out. Full 30 seconds. Been pissing it down up here. What about you? Good afternoon, Carl. Good afternoon, Stephen. Get a slurp of this. Look at that, baby. Up at top. See how it's up at top. Mexican. Brown sugar. And double cream. Oh, so juicy. Facebook user, hope you Mama are well. Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Mum is at home today. Stephen Russell, good afternoon. Who else is on? I'm breathing because I'm not feeling very clever today, to be honest. I'm in absolute agony. I'm in agony. It's these bastards. I've only got to walk like to back door, really, which is just over there. And my fucking legs from my knees down. And when you stop, you think, oh, I'll stop. You know, let it go away. It doesn't, it gets worse after you stop. It gets worse when you stop. It kind of builds and then it comes back down. It takes about 5 minutes for it to build and come back down again. And if you keep walking, I'll tell you what it is where I've been to quacks, but we can't do it about it because there's no vascular surgeon, but he's going to send me to a vascular surgeon. And what it is it's called peripheral arterial disease. And it's basically arteries on your periphery. And they've gone like that. So there's no blood gets down, or not enough. Well, it's for normal function. But when you're walking, obviously you use more oxygen, don't you? So it starts to want more blood. Can't fucking get to it though, can it? So do you know when you're exercising and you get that burn because you're running out of oxygen, it's having to burn. That's what happens in my legs, in my shins and my calf muscles, and just, you know, just to touch them, it's painful. It's like somebody's been kicking them. I've had it a few months now, and it's really bad. And you get, I don't know if you can see. You see that leg? Put that for a hole. You see that one down here? That's a hole. It's a fucking hole. It's about that deep. Oh. So unfortunately, them babies are going to be coming off. Erskine Vapor, afternoon. Les and Charts. Carl McGee. Are you opening next week, Les? Well, we're always open. We haven't actually technically shut as such. It's only the front door that's been shut. We've actually still been operating in here as pretty much as normal. It's been Liam that's been basically doing it all because me and my mum have been isolated at home. And of course, next week on Monday, the non-essential shops could open. But it doesn't mean you can open. It means you can open if you can, doesn't it? I mean, the reality of the situation is that this virus that's caused all this, it ain't gone away. It ain't gone anywhere. It's still exactly the same as it was before. It's still there. But the reason that you could open your shop on Monday is because the government is fucking desperate for money. So it's gone from being all about your health to being all about their fucking budget. So that's why they want us opening on Monday. It's got nothing to do with the fact that it's gone and you're not going to get ill. It's to do with the fact that they want some fucking money. So anyway, we're going to be operating as normal as we have been, but the front doors are not going to be open because there's nobody here that can work here. Unless I move into the shop and live in the shop, which is highly impractical since my life is at home, then I won't be able to work in the shop and then go home, because I could potentially give it to my mum. You know what I mean? And she's 82, as you know. Now she's on anti-rejection drugs and anti-cancer drugs and stuff like that. Not that she's got cancer or all like that, but she takes them because she's got ulcerative colitis, and it's an immunosuppressant that she's on. So she's effectively got no immunity to anything. So if she got it, it'd ravage her. Having said that, she's pretty fit in other respects, so she might be all right. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Me, on the other hand, I'm a bag of fucking ailment. Despite how I look, I'm actually a bag of ailment. So if I got it, because I've got a dicky ticker, dodgy arteries, fucking cholesterol, blood pressure, you know, diabetes, I've got the lot. I've got a full fucking Monty. So if I get it, it's ta-ta. There's pretty much nailed on itself. So that's why I can't come back in. I could come back in, but I won't be lasting long. Because now that they've said that previously, they thought that if you were asymptomatic, in other words, you weren't giving it on, you couldn't spread it. Well, now they've worked out they can. So you can be talking to somebody and they're perfectly normal. They could have it, but not yet be showing it, and they can spread it to you. So when the people come in shop, they're not going to wear a stamp saying, "I've got it, I've got it." Are they? You just don't know. Bonjour, Facebook user. It's been absolutely miserable up in Yorkshire this last couple of days. Chucking it down, drizzling it down. It was that drizzly yesterday. It looked foggy. All right, let's have a look. Anybody wants to come on? I shall put the what do you call it? Banner. There you go. If you wanted to come on, have a cow. Show your face. There it is. There's any comments on here. So what do you think about all this rioting then that's going on all over? It's everywhere now, isn't it? Started obviously in America with that idiotic dick of a cop putting that fucking knee on a bloke's neck. I mean, that's always going to end well, isn't it? You know. And now, though, it's spread over here, hasn't it? I mean, this country's not as bad as it is over there. Traditionally, that's what it's always been kind of segregated, hasn't it? But now they're starting to rip statues and things down, saying that they're negative in some way. But I suppose in some respects, like this bloke that they've just ripped down, I've forgotten the name, but they've just ripped a bloke down because they were involved in slavery at some point. He had something to do with slavery. I mean, this is fucking hundreds of years ago, like. And now they ripped it down because they don't want to look at it. And they started doing this with all these different people, and Churchill and all. It's got out of hand, hasn't it? It has really, really got out of hand. I mean, I saw an interesting point the other day, because it's all like Black Lives Matter and all that. Well, it isn't just Black Lives Matter, it's all fucking Lives Matter, isn't it? It's not just Black Lives, it could be brown, yellow, or any fucking colour. They're all important, they're all equally important. That's the point, isn't it? Equal opportunities, equal everything. But I saw an interesting post the other day, and it was a guy who pointed out that they've got a lovely statue of Nelson Mandela. I think it's in London, isn't it? Lovely statue of Nelson Mandela. We all know who he is. Famous South African black man. Just a minute though. Isn't he a convicted terrorist as well? See, there's two sides to everything, isn't there? So you look at Nelson Mandela and you think the voice of oppression kind of thing, freed the people, but actually the reason he was convicted is terrorism. So actually he's a terrorist. So now we've got a statue of a terrorist. So you can play that game both sides, like, can't you? You know. That's right. That is absolutely right, Linda. It's just divided. It's just a divisive thing. I mean, I don't understand. I understand why they want. Why I'm not even going to say minorities. I can understand why some people would want them to be taken down, but that's some people. That doesn't mean that everybody thinks that way. And it's not really a celebration of that person. I don't think. It's basically, well, it is and it isn't. It's not actually saying he did great things. It's saying this is what this man did, and unfortunately, some of his activities weren't particularly savoury. But it's the same as Nelson Mandela. He's done great things after. So does one thing kind of offset the other to make it justifiable? But you could say that if you want to go down that road and say, oh, well, they've done good things later in life, despite what they've done in earlier life. You could go down that same road and say, well, Jimmy Savile did an awful lot of fucking good for charity. Does that mean he gets off for having raping all them kids? Because that's how it works, seems to be working. If you've done something good lately, you get let off with the shit that you've done before. Some way around, but not always around. Seems a little bit skewed to me. We've got Mr. G. I don't know if he's actually got a picture. It's got hidden again. Alan Elder Brown says, replace Nelson Mandela statue with one of Tommy Robinson. Just saying. Well, I think Tommy can be a little bit, it's not... I like to listen to the Tommy Robinson because I like the way he says things, but it's a little bit black and white, isn't it? Things are not really like that. That's right. She says we're meant to be learning from history, not ignoring it. Yeah, that's exactly the point. It just not a statue up there of some leader in historical leader who did good during that lifetime, not necessarily this days, but that lifetime. It's like that is our history, whether we like it or not. You can't erase your history, can you? And that seems to be what they're trying to do, trying to erase it. Well, we'll ignore that. We'll ignore that. Well, you can't really do that, can you? Now then, Mr. G, I can see you. You just got up cock. Oh, he's gone again. Facebook user, Juice coming, best vape shop in Fev. How do you pronounce that back name? As you can't really tell me, can you? Linda Pson. Pson. I don't know. Is it a real one or is it abbreviation or was it a silent P? Linda Son? Not too sure. Okay, we've got him back, Mr. J. Are you on?
I had no sound.
What's it like over there? Is it raining in all?
Not the minute.
I got a Google thing the other day. I've got a Google cameras and that at all, you know, for security and they've just released a new service like for your Nest stuff all in one place. So I've upgraded that. They give you your money back off your existing subscription, and then they sort of charge you for the new subscription. So effectively, it was nil. And then they sent me a Google Nest Mini. It's like a thing like this. It's about this big, like a round speaker thing. Well, I couldn't make no fuck it. I plugged it into telly. I've set it up on my phone. It's just doing all sorts of things. Anyway, I've had to unplug it. You've gone again?
I'm not. I'm still here.
Are you still there? What are you vaping today?
Lemonitus.
Lemonitus. How have you been?
All right. Just I've had a shave, haven't I?
Yeah. You didn't have a tash before, did you?
No, I had a beard.
I'm going to say that. I thought you looked different. I couldn't work out. I thought if it were a COVID cut, you'd have.
I had a beard, and then I thought, fuck it, I'll take it off, and I'll just have a tash.
Hello, Alan. Tolly Mac. Are you still at work then? Are you still doing normal? Yeah.
4 days on, 4 days off.
Are you working over that side then at the minute?
Yeah, it's not bad. You can't look at me, can you, without laughing?
No. I'm thinking, what's going through his head here? What's he thinking? I've just been saying it's fucking shit here. It's been like this all frigging week. Apparently we've got some really strong winds coming and all. Some gale force winds.
Well,
what you doing?
typing. Texting. I was looking down and texting. Not text you though. Somebody else.
Carl says, Mr. J, the 80s porn star, Tash. It does look a little bit boogie nights, doesn't it? It's fucking boogie nights.
Just need to get myself a little string vest. I look like Freddie Mercury.
The better to look like Dirk Diggler. That was a funny film. If you don't watch Boogie Nights, you had to watch that. It's really fun.
I'm just looking where you getting these comments from.
I've got them going outside of my screen, but I'm in StreamYard. I don't know how it works on Facebook and that.
Are there the comments from Facebook, are there?
Well, I've got comments coming from all over the place. Facebook, YouTube, different channels. Because I'm doing the broadcasting, so I'm seeing it all. But you'll only see the chat that's on that platform, I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, I've got it here. Live comments.
You got Johnny Blakely, howdy doody. What you capping, Les? Oh, vaping.
Autocorrect has the better of him, doesn't it?
Yeah. What I've got in here, I've got best custard on my trusty DNS 250, and it's the same. It's the dark mesh tank which I've had for months and months. How long have I had this tank now? It must be over a year, hasn't it?
Oh, it's ages. You've had it ages, that.
I've had it ages, haven't I? I can't fault it at all. I really can't. It takes them. The mesh coil I've got in it is the Freemax quad, which is 80 to 120, but I can't do it at 120. I don't know what that is.
Get it on a 120.
That's like cooking an egg, isn't it? I mean, you boil an egg at that.
It's like a smoke machine.
I've got it at 70, and even that's hard to make. But I've got the air bolt fully open.
Let's get this filled up. Bloody fire brigade will be coming.
That's best custard.
Remember that video I sent you? That one in shower.
Yeah.
When I smoked shower out.
You have to put it on here.
I can't do it to here, can I?
No. Can you not drag it? Oh, you can't drag it thing, can you? I can share the screen.
Well, I'm doing it through my iPad.
It's best custard. It's delicious.
Best custard.
The printers are all nice, all the nice vape, really, like, aren't they?
I've got the Sicilian lemon cheesecake.
Sister Agatha.
Yeah.
I say, I've got a little bottle of spirit for me. Mesh coils are nice. They are a little bit greedy with juice, aren't they?
A bit greedy, yeah. I've got one in here.
Yeah, that's it. I feel it's not really a downside. It's one of them things, isn't it? You get better experience, but it basically costs you more because you're using more. It's it's.
Well, what I use for the other ones.
Dripper.
Rabbit 2.
Yeah. So I've never really been into dripping.
I only use it for stuff that absolutely change your coil.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's easier just to burn it off, give it a quick wipe, stick some new cotton in, and off you go again.
Off you go again, yeah.
Cost you pence for months and months of use, whereas the Tabilla that's little bits left of it, that's a full coil. That's managed a full coil.
It's done a full coil of it.
Near enough. It's black as hell. Like it's burning out. You can taste it when it's coming through. You can look. Just waiting for my parcel to come.
You waiting for some sex toys again? I thought they came
pink. The pink golf trousers. I don't understand it. I can turn up in trackers and trainers half the time. They won't let you on a course, but I turn up in a pair of pink twat trousers with shoes on, and they let you on. In the 80s tash. Come on in, you come.
That's probably what it is. I thought you were a porn star. Linda,
I wish I got paid. I wish I got paid as much money as one.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the women that get the money, not the men. The men are just cocks. It's the women that get the money. Dropping money. Does G make his own coils?
No. No. Liam makes my coils.
Liam makes them for him. That's what always been the thing that puts me off is making the coils. I mean, you can buy them and that, but it's a little bit for me. It's a little bit fidgety.
I've had a couple of coils where I've unwound it, like an extra where it's got say 9 rolls on it. I've unwound it to joint resistance on it to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I ain't got the time to sit and winding it around the body.
No. I mean, some of them, when they're sat there, they're wrapping wires around wires, making it spin and putting zigzags on it. He's
There's a place. No, I was just looking at computer. There's a shop near us in town, and he wraps wire around, and then he hollows a coil out, and then he wraps a wire through the coil with another coil, and you're looking at it going, what? And he's got a thing called Valhalla. It runs on 7 or 8 coils, and then it's whipped through them all, and it runs on a car battery.
So it's like a ring.
Ring of coils, and it runs on a 4 18-650s. 4 18-650s in one box, and it's ridiculous.
I've seen a bloke holding a mod like this. It's like a brick, and he holds it. And it's all batteries, like about 2 dozen batteries.
That's the kid from China that he literally goes, and it goes.
Yeah.
He must have some steel lungs, that kid.
Yeah. I can do it if it's cool, the vape. I can't do it if it's warm. If it's warm, it makes me cough.
Well, that's 80.
And I'm on 70.
With the Mesh Pro.
I mean, that's about as dense as you're going to get it in it.
Well, no, I can get it more. It's just coils going out.
Yeah. And do you check each coil on the ohm meter before you use it? Or do you just chuck it in and...
Chuck it in and then press it, because it'll tell you on the...
Yeah.
Tells you at the bottom here.
Yeah. I'm just answering Linda's question. She's just asked.
No, let me put it on. Give me a second. Let me put it on.
Basically, what it's saying is...
Let's do a review. Let's do a review on it for you while she's asking.
You put your coil in, and your actual device will show you on here what resistance it is. Because it is an ohm meter built into it.
So, here we go. Screw it onto the top. And all you need to do is press that, and it will show you at the bottom here what it's reading. That's the easiest way of doing it. What you can do is, obviously, when you take the top off and you're wicking it, you can, before you wick it, you can obviously check it, make sure it's all right, make sure it's burning right. And then you just slip it back on like that. How
many times have you burnt your lip? We're not putting cap on.
Once, because you only ever do it once.
You only do it once. I think everybody's done that. Forgot to put cap on. With little stripes on your top lip.
You only ever do it once, I tell you now. I'm just trying to get the bloody top off. I had it off for a couple of weeks, so it's a bit
stiff.
Bit tight. Yeah, you only burn your lip once, Linda. You only burn your lip once. Once you've burnt your lip, you don't do it again, I tell you. Let's have a look what we're going to fire off today. Custom flavour, maybe? Let's have a go.
How do you know what washes to set it then?
You just look at when it's burning. You just look at how it's burning up. If it takes ages to heat, you need to turn it up a little bit more, or you put a less resistance coil in, which means you press it and it lights up faster. So
it's always better to start off much lower than you actually want.
I'll tell you, you only ever get it wrong once.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is, if you have it too high, it's just going to burn your cotton straight off, isn't it?
That's the mixture of two flavours. That's why sometimes if you don't change the cotton, you get a little bit of a. But it's good because if you're testing fluids as well, if you're testing liquids, it's quite good because you can dry it out to a point where you can put a new liquid in and try the flavour of a new liquid without having to empty your tank.
Yeah. When I would used to do videos, I used to take cotton out and put a new cotton in for everyone.
Yeah. Because they have brought a thing out, Linda. If you're not willing to do it, it's a thing called Easy Wicks. Once you get used to doing it anyway, you can do it with bacon. Or if you go to Les's and you buy one of these kits.
We do actually sell coils like that.
If you buy one of these kits, it's quite handy. Open it up, and it comes with strips, so they're already sort of preset to the size you need. You can just, but obviously once you get good at it, you can buy a bag of cotton and just cut it to size, throw it in, you're off.
Yeah, they're good value of them little kits of coils, aren't they?
Yeah. Obviously, when you're looking at them, you've got your different types. You've got your fused Claptons, things like that. And obviously, if you really wanted to, what you can do is you can unwind it another one to then reduce your resistance. I wouldn't advise doing it to anybody who's not done it. I'd just leave it as it is because you can unwind it too much.
Yeah. I mean, they actually say on them what the resistance is. Well, it's not that accurate, but it's
the resistance. Yeah, resistances are good, but if it's a single coil, obviously you've got a resistance. But if you're doubling it up, then obviously it changes your resistance slightly on.
Yeah. Well, it's going to half it, isn't it?
Yeah. So there you go, another little style one that they've got.
That's like knobbly, isn't it? A little bit like barbed wire with barbs sticking off.
It is. To be fair, that was a 3/6. But you can knock it down a little bit more if you take a coil and wind off it. But again, you don't need to. When you're putting two of them in, you don't really need to unwind it. It's going to burn high enough for you. You don't want it too high.
We've got one here that says, Stephen Russell and those dry hits, I don't like them. Facebook user Sol then, best custard, really tasty then. I'm enjoying the Madagascar Gold. I don't know what that is. The
best custard's good.
Best custard is extremely vanilla-y. It's a thick tasting. It's got it's I can explain it. It coats your mouth in vanilla.
It's very vanilla-y. It's very nice as well.
Earthy kind of vanilla. The other one that you're on about, the Madagascar Gold, is a much lighter thing, and it tastes. It's lighter, but it also contains the vanilla pod, which is seeping the flavour into it. So the longer the pod's in there, the more vanilla-y it gets. But they are totally different, although they're both essentially vanilla. The best custard is much darker vanilla than the Madagascar Gold or the Tennessee vanilla. Madagascar Gold and Tennessee vanilla are actually the same juice. It's just that the Tennessee vanilla were matured in an oak Jack Daniels barrel. That's the only difference between the two. And yet they taste different.
Stephen, to be fair, you don't get many dry hits if you keep your coil wet. There is another solution as well, which I do believe Les has had one or two in.
Squonkers.
And there's either a squonker or you can also use a RTA, which means you build your coils, but you fill it up like you do a normal tank, which means you don't get your dry hits. As long as you keep your tank full, you're all right.
It'd be nice if somebody came out with a coil that it had to be a tank as well, or an RTA or whatever, where you literally just drop the coil in and it drops. And perhaps, do you know them speaker clips at the back of a speaker where you just push a button and you push a wire in and let go, and a spring makes a little lever come back and catch the wire?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they ought to be inside these, isn't they? So you can just pull the two pins back, drop your wires in, and let go of the pins, so it clamps it itself. If they could do that now, they'd be able to just go on to just drop in, wouldn't they? You know,
Right. Yeah. I want, if you're going to do it, I wouldn't advise getting a squonker like this. I would, but I wouldn't, because it goes in the bottom. The only problem you've got is it runs on an 18650 battery, which means that you get full power of the battery every time you press the button. There's no variable changer on it. So if your coils aren't set up correctly, you're going to burn yourself. You could potentially burn yourself.
Yeah, it's unregulated.
However, they are brilliant. I would advise them, but you don't get as much battery life as what you do with a normal, because you can't set it its full power all the time.
Yeah, it's whatever's in batteries coming out of it.
It's all or nothing. So if you've got really good batteries, you get a really good vape. If you've got shocking batteries, you don't really.
Yeah. We had a bloke put a post on the Facebook group the other day, and he was saying that he's using a mod. I forgot what mod it was, but every time he started it started off at 60, and then it dropped to 40, and then it dropped to 30. And I think it's probably his batteries that are knackered, because he says he's been charging his batteries up, but if it's dropping that quickly,
his batteries are knackered. They must have discharged.
Yeah,
must have discharged them, and then he's never charged them up properly.
Yeah, I mean, I got some batteries. I got some brand new batteries. I put no skins on them, you know, the no fancy skins, and I let them in the device over here, and they went flat. And they've only been charged once, so I took them out of the device, put them over here, put them into the machine, went charge up. They've got that flat. The battery charger don't even recognise what it is.
Well, we did them batteries, didn't we? It's the ones we recovered at yours, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I've got loads of batteries, but I've never.
We did a set yours, didn't we? I think it's that set that you put on that kept going up to like 3% and dropping back to 1%, and they just won't hold the charge.
Do wish they hold it? No. I mean, I've actually got some batteries, and they're that screwed up inside that when you put them in, it says nickel metal hydride. It just so you'll have one that's saying it's lithium ion, and the other one says it's nickel, so it doesn't even know what it is. I mean, that becomes dangerous, like so.
Linda's possibly gonna get the pre-done. Where do you know how to cut the coil? So when you're setting your coil up, you want it so it's just sat. I don't know if you can see it on there. You want it so it just sits just above where the two little connection points are. So easiest way to do it is put your coil in. It allows you to go all the way through because they are hollow. Most of them are hollow all the way through, and all you do is put it through, put your plier on, put your thing underneath, so you nip it, just bend it a little bit so you know where it is. Pull it out, cut it, drop it in. Then you burn it dry for a few goes just to get your crap off your coil, get your crap off your metal, and it shows you any little dead spots, any little hot spots. You get little really orange parts that effectively it just means there's a gap in your coil somewhere. So all you need to do is just nip it together with a pair of pliers, make it all tight, make it compact. So you want it all burning even all the way across the coil. Once you've got that, let it cool down. Put your cotton in. Right, look at your cotton. And when you do it, what I tend to do is fold my cotton down the side, look where it is, and nip it off. What you can do, easiest way to do it is looking at it as your cotton comes through, look at the edge, and cut your cotton flat with the edge, and then tuck it in because you don't want it too tight. If you do it too tight, it doesn't pick up any liquid, and you end up getting a lot of dry hits. You need your cotton just loose enough that it absorbs it, but not too loose that it's going to wiggle about in your coil.
There you go. Got to make contact with your coil all the way around, isn't it? If you get any
Let's contact with your coil all the way around, but it's also good to have it dangling down the side because with drippers, when you're dripping on, sometimes you get residual fluid at the bottom. If it's touching the bottom, it means it picks up that extra fluid, which means you don't end up with a little sump at the bottom effectively full of liquid.
Yeah.
There's obviously plenty of videos on YouTube which I've watched to learn. Liam's obviously showed me a fair bit as well. It is trial and error. Once you get it working, they're a perfect vape. They're absolutely brilliant.
It's confidence, isn't it? Really,
it is having the confidence. The first time I ever did it, Les sort of went speak to Liam. I don't do much with him. I learned off of him, watched a lot of videos, and if you are going to make your own coils, you need to obviously look at Ohm's law and certain wires and certain coils, because you might be able to use a certain wire that makes 9 wraps that comes out at a 0.3, but then you might use a different wire, 9 wraps, and it might come out at a 0.15.
Yeah, that's when you see coil wires being sold, it'll say AWG, which I think stands for American Wire Gauge.
American Wire Gauge.
Yeah, so that's basically the thickness of it. The higher the number, the smaller or thinner the wire. So a 25 gauge is thinner than a 20 gauge.
what I would say to anybody who's wanting to start is I don't make my own just purely because I ain't got the patience to do it. But when you are going to start, buy a pack. Just buy a pack of coils. I think they're what are they, £9.99, 12 quid or something?
Yeah.
About £9.99, £12. Enough coils to last you a while.
Good while. How many's in there, man? Is there 30 odd? 20 odd?
You get probably get 2, 4, 6. You get about 15 or 16 full sets, I think, in total. 15 to 20. I've used some, so it's probably about 20 full coils in pairs. So it's a pair. If you're going to swap one, swap them both. Don't swap one side because it's burning. Swap both of them because then you know they're both going to work the same. Because it might be that you've not remembered what you put in. Get two totally different resistance coils.
Yeah, it's not going to work if you do that. It's like mixing tyres on your axle. It's like having a 14-inch wheel on one side and a 12.
It'll work. It will work, but you'll end up if you've got 0.3 and a 0.15, you get multi-heat. So one side will warm up faster than the other. So you'll get a lot of dry heats on one side than what you do on the other because one will still be wet and the other side will be drying off.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's important to make sure that they're matched. It's the same with the batteries. If you're using batteries, if it's a dual battery device, it's always better to start off with 2 new batteries and preferably mark them. I mean, we've got different patterns on the batteries themselves. So I know that's a pair, because I've put skins on them. So that's a pair. And if you pair them up like that, when you're charging them, they'll charge together at the same rate. So
I've got a very, very good system in place, and you might think it's sad, you might think it's wrong, but basically what I do is I got Les to print me a stand that holds all my stuff, which is here. And what I do is, let me see if I can flip it without everything falling out. There you go. The battery holders, all I do battery rotation. So the ones at this end are the ones I'm using. The ones at that end are the freshly charged ones. And when I take these two out, I move everyone down. So I'm always cycling through my batteries. I'm never using the same ones all the time.
Yeah. Do
rotations.
Do you mark them A and B, or
I don't mark them A and B. However, I've got 2 pink ones, and the rest are all green. But all my green ones are marked up, so I know what pair goes together. So if I take one out, obviously because I use a Vupu, I'll have one in here, and the other one will be a spare. I won't charge this one until I've used the other one, so then I charge both together.
Yeah. So you flatten them together.
They're flattened together. They go on charge together. They come off together. They go back in the box together. So I know exactly
even though they're being used, even though they're used independent, they are still matched. They're still a pair for sure. You're discharging it, and then you're charging them both together, and then they come off together.
I'll never take a battery out of that and put it into this, and then put the other one in. I'll always flatten it on there. So if I'm going to swap from using that as a vape, and I'm going to go to my twin, I'll always make sure that I've used that single for 2 batteries to make sure that they've gone through the same life cycle.
Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? It's not something that most people would even give it a consideration, would they? You just think, oh, it's a battery, I'll just chuck it in. But for things like this that are effectively high drain, they've got to be matched. Otherwise, you end up with one kicking out more than the other, and it starts to lag. Yeah. Linda saying hers is
a good indication that your batteries have got good life is that they both go down at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if you're using the wrong pair, or one's gone through an extra use cycle than the other one, you'll notice that your battery indicator. They have to work it out. If you've got one that gives you a physical display of percentages, 2 to 5% difference is fine. Anything more than that, get a new pair or split them up and use them for single use, i.e., a Vupu or a little squonker.
I mean, the reality of it is that the battery is probably the cheapest part of the vaping thing. Is your battery, and it's the thing that's got all the danger in it, really. It's the battery.
What I will say, if you're going to buy batteries and you are using a dripper, make sure you buy in proper batteries and not, because you can buy 18650s from market stalls, but they say Samsung, but they're not Samsung, and they haven't got the safety features in the battery that that your official batteries have. And if you're going to use a squonker and it's unregulated, you don't want to be risking the fact of using
A dodgy
an
battery.
unregulated mod with a dodgy battery, because
Yeah.
it will cause you issues.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these places like market stalls, a lot on eBay as well. The fake batteries, they look the same. Well, obviously that's the purpose of a fake. But over in China, the unscrupulous people will just get old 18650s out of stuff, because anything that's rechargeable, power drills, hoovers, lawnmower, all this kind of stuff is all run on 18650s inside. They're just all stuck together. And what they'll do, they'll take them all out and just rewrap them with new wrappers and send them out as new ones. So that's
They're not designed for single use. They're designed for what they're intended for. I.e., that's why they're made as they are.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
and it's usually when they run them inline, in like Les was saying, in your drills, in your batteries, in your big massive power packs, the actual safety feature is an external bit that they connect on. So the actual batteries themselves are not regulated because it has an external regulator. So it will cause you issues. You could potentially this could get a bit too hot and
it could fire away. It could just run away.
I've actually done it. I think we did it in the shop, didn't we? We had one that the battery wasn't the right battery, and it literally just burns the coil. You're burning, and you have to pull the battery out to stop it.
Yeah. And so we've had batteries that are vented, and of course, if it's a cheap, dodgy battery that's off eBay or whatever, it's the safety features are not necessarily going to be in it, and if they're in it, they're not going to be up to much. So you should always buy your batteries, preferably from a vape shop, because the vape shop
are designed for vaping.
Yeah, having said that, the Samsung people have withdrawn their batteries. We're no longer allowed to sell Samsung batteries. So if you see Samsung batteries for sale anywhere, Samsung have basically said you must stop selling our 18650 batteries, which were our most popular Samsung 30Qs. And that's because they weren't intended for this purpose. They were intended for inside them power packs and for devices that are rechargeable, like radios and stuff like that. So when we plug it in and recharge the actual device, that's what they were intended for. And so they're saying that these are not really suitable for that. So we do them now.
I'll just show you. Yeah, I'll just show you. I'll just show you this. So torch from work, however, runs on an Ultrafire 18650 3800. Do not put that in a vape because it's designed for a torch.
It's designed for a torch. It's totally different. It's not hydrated.
As tempting as it can be to do that, it's designed for a ridiculously bright torch.
Yeah, which is drawing no power.
Which is using no power because it's an LED. Works on a magnified glass bezel. The power in that would destroy most, because your standard ones are only at 3000.
Yeah.
This is one of my old ones. If you are going to rewrap them, make sure you take the little plastic bit out the end and you keep it.
That white bit is on about.
There's a little plastic white ring around there. That comes off, and that's a separate piece. Make sure you keep it, because that's all to do with your connection on your charger, on your vape.
That's your insulator.
If you don't do it and you don't keep it, again, it could fire off.
It could, yeah. Well, what could happen is when it's on
the
inside, because this one's plastic, this black bit is plastic, which is what touches the batteries here. But if this one here, you see this one here, this male, if that had the thing missing and this one metal off a cheaper one, and you went like that, it's going to make a contact.
And it'll weld it to it. It'll weld it to the battery, and it will weld it shut. And it will vent off, and it will cause you a lot of issues.
Yeah, I've had them vent off it out, and it's flown over the road like a rocket. It radiated, big starbird, not radiated, and it fell off the floor. It was still going off like a rocket. Burnt all wood, it flew, like a jet thing. Of course, house were full of toxic fumes as well. So that's the other thing. They're very, very toxic. Lithium is toxic.
It's actually nice to come in and actually talk about vaping. Most weeks we come in and just talk about anything and everything.
Yeah, we get our batteries from Fogstar. So I mean, they're pretty much the same price as Fogstar. So if you want to get them off us, they are off Fogstar, and our batteries will be printed outside with our company name, so that where you've got it from, kind of thing. It's got all the
Linda, you've never rewrapped a battery. However, it's one of the easiest things you can do. All you need is you can use a hairdryer, or if you go to Les's, he has a heat gun effectively that it takes seconds to wrap. And I'm sure if you went in and you bought the coatings, Liam or Les would be able to rewrap them for you.
Yeah, it's no problem at all. It's literally a minute and a half.
It takes a minute. They cool down straight away. If you've ever used heat shrink, it's like heat shrink. It's effectively that, and all you do, warm it up, put it on. You don't need to throw your batteries away when your coating goes. You just rewrap them.
As long as the ends are not dinted, because that's, if it becomes unwrapped because of age, it might be as well that this bit, I don't know if you can see, you see how that's nice and flat up top? That's absolutely, come on, flat. And same with this end, no damage to that. Sometimes that gets pushed in, if maybe it's been dropped and it's caught on that corner and it pushed it in. Or you'll get dents in the bottom of this, where over time it's got the buttons pushed it in and it's dented it. That battery needs
obviously, you need to replace it. But what I will say is, if you buy batteries, the ones that Les sell, I know they are, a lot of them are, but if you buy batteries from, like you say, shops online, things like that, keep the tube.
Yeah.
Keep the tubes, put your battery in that, stick it in your pocket, in your handbag, wherever you want to put it. You don't have to worry about damaging it. Plus, there is another problem with it, which I know has happened. If you put your keys in your pocket and your battery's not covered up, and your keys happen to touch your battery at both ends, effectively you've got you can vent it off in your pocket and set fire to yourself.
You've got a pipe bomb in your pocket, haven't you?
You could effectively make it go off in your pocket. So I always keep it in there. I never put them in my pocket with my change, with my keys, because it only takes that one instance that it touches it.
Just got to touch it the 1 microsecond to set off a chain reaction inside, because there's no regulating it. I mean, usually when you see them on Facebook and that, and they said vapor burnt his leg or his leg exploded and all this, and he's got a big thing down the leg. It's usually because not to do with the vape, it's to do with the battery. They've had these in the pocket just as they are, full of change, like you said, keys. And it's just made a contact and vented in the pocket. And once it starts to vent, you can't stop it. It's a chain reaction. And that's what they end up with, a huge, great big burn on the leg.
It literally takes seconds as well. It's not
No, it's just... it's out. Yeah, I have had an ultrafile one, and so they do, because they're a little bit... springified, aren't they? They're like spring, and when you take it out your battery, take it out, and the bit at this end that's under tension shoots up like that, and it scratches your bloody coating underneath, your skin on your back. That is
I've got one here.
You have to put your finger, once you've got your battery in, you've got to take it out, you have to put your finger on that bit, pull it back, and then take your battery out, rather than just grabbing your battery and tilting it.
That's mine.
It'll fly up. That's
mine. And what I tend to do is, let's see if we can do it, pull the battery down, and as you pull it down, put your finger on that little spring there.
Yeah.
And then you release the spring, so your battery's out. When you're putting them back in, easy enough, push them back in like that.
Yeah. Just take that battery out again, Scott.
Grant,
I mean. And show them how fast that springy thing shoots up. That's what happens. If you don't...
So, if I do that now, if I take the battery out,
it's going to shoot
before
up.
you've even thought about it, it's shot up. And obviously, if you're not careful, it literally, that's one go. It nicks the corner of the plastic here, look. These do need rewrapping, because, again, that's me being a bit... that's me being rushing, and it just literally nips your plastic.
Yeah, that's exactly the damage that Linda was just being on about, and it's the same damage that we were just saying. That's exactly what happens. It does it regular. So I always hold that little bottom clip down as you remove the battery.
I wouldn't advise I wouldn't advise doing it with wet hands, obviously, but
no.
It's battery safety is probably one of the biggest things in vaping. I've never smoked. I've always vaped, and a lot of it is you learn because you get it wrong.
Yeah.
But there is enough videos out there on YouTube, Les's page, that show you how to do things. There's enough people that Les knows, like, that know what they're doing, that you can always ask to get it right.
Yeah.
As long as you don't modify your coils without knowing what you're doing, you can put them in your vape. You're not going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're already set. They're already set.
Do not use ultra-fire batteries under any circumstances. And I've seen so many people, and there's quite a few people have been in shock because they've got them off eBay, not realising that ultra-fire is a torch. They just think,
like, designed for torches.
It's 1860.
Designed for vaping.
Yeah, very dodgy.
Another thing I've seen people do, and again, it's really dodgy, and I'll show you because I've got some here. I got my little box. It's not my vape box, by the way. It's just a box. But some people have actually been buying these little lithiums.
Oh yeah, we've got, yeah.
And if you put two of them together, that's an 18650.
Yeah.
And people think, well, I'll just buy these, they're reusable. Nah.
They really are.
It will work. It will work, but you don't have the regulations that your vape batteries have got, and the chances are you're going to blow your hand off.
Yeah. Or your face.
I saw a kid last week. He's got a vape that you put two double A's in. Don't know where he got it from. Don't know where he bought it from. But he puts two Duracell double A batteries in it. He said to me, he says, "Do you want to go?" I said, "No, you're all right."
That is a little bit strange. I've never seen that one before.
There's some Chinese vapes that literally, they're unregulated. They've made them cheap, and you can actually put a double A battery in the vape.
Unbelievable,
and they sell it as a travel vape. Yeah, you'd be better off taking your actual vape with you, because
vape light.
You are actually allowed, under airline regulations, you are actually allowed to take your vape on an aeroplane. The only thing you're not allowed to take is a spare battery. So what you do, you put them in your hand luggage. They can go in there, or they can go in your old luggage. They're just not allowed. So as long as you can't use it in the airport anyway. So once you've gone in, you might as well stick it in your suitcase and get it out at the other end.
Yeah. Because there's no way you can vape, is there? They won't let you vape on an aeroplane.
They won't let you vape in the airport. They won't let you vape on the aeroplane. You might as well stick it in your suitcase in a proper bag, in a proper tub.
Yeah.
I have got one somewhere. It's here. Look. It looks like a glasses case, but it's got the little bits inside, so you can stick your batteries in and vape. A bottle of liquid. Double bag it, obviously, because you don't want it leaking out. A lot of vaping's common sense. It is common sense.
It is, isn't it? I think a lot of it is it sounds confusing. If you're trying to explain it to somebody, it's way more confusing than if you just show them.
And that's what I'll show you now. If I just do this, again, you know it's burning right, because you get that even burn across. If I didn't have coil in it, I'd be able to show you. Cotton in it, I'd be able to show you. And them two will light up orange all the way across.
We even sell little apparatus and brushes and things to clean the coil, like a little wire brush, so that you can strum it to clean all the gunk off it, because it gets like carbon on it, you know, from the juice and stuff. It gets residue, and then you burn it red hot, so it glows. Once you've took your cotton, like a bulb filament, it glows, and then when it cools down, all the crud that's on it shatters off, kind of thing. So you get this little metal brush. There you go, and you just brush the crap.
So all you need, Linda, is metal brush, ceramic tweezers, not metal. You need ceramic tip tweezers, and obviously, ideally, you want a thin pair of wire cutters.
Yeah, we sell all of them bits and pieces.
The only Les sells everything. He sells a lovely pack. I think, what is it? What's the pack? The kit? You remember? It's the little black zippy box. Is it like 15 quid or something? 20 quid?
Something like that. Yeah, 15.
One that's about 15, 20 quid. It comes with it all. But you need to use ceramic because at times you need to heat it, fire it whilst playing with your coil, so you can get that even burn. Use metal, you're going to short it, you're going to set fire to yourself, and ultimately they don't get hot. They don't get hot, so you can play with it and not worry about them getting too warm.
Yeah, the actual end, the bit we can see is
when you get good at it and you know what you're doing, you can buy this stuff. I think it's 4 or 5 quid a pack, and it comes in big strips. And all you do, pull off what you want, roll it, stick it through your coil, and that pack there, I've had it 6 months, and I've still got loads. Still got loads left. It costs pennies, peanuts.
But cotton is another one of them things. It makes a huge difference. The type of cotton
what you buy.
The type of cotton is massive. I even did a video where I tested different types of cotton, and the way I worked it, because sometimes you can vape some and you get a strange funky taste, and you know it's not the juice, it's something funky.
Cotton,
and it's the cotton, it's the actual cotton itself that's got a taste. So I did a video where I did a series of different cottons, and I actually chewed the cotton itself without on it, just the cotton. You know how you can chew a piece of cloth so it's full of liquid and then suck the juice out of it, kind of thing, and that allows you to taste what's come out of that cotton. And I found quite a considerable difference in taste between different types of cotton. Some
There's
of them,
people out there,
no taste at all. Others tasted like cotton pillars.
No, exactly. Whoever Facebook user is exactly he's hit the point I forgot to mention. Don't use your brush when firing it because it makes your coils weak and your coil will effectively snap. But you need to warm it up, let it cool down a little bit, then use your brush and clean it. If you clean it while you're firing it, you'll burn it all up and you'll bend the coil, you'll ruin the coil.
Any what? Yes, 18650s. Yep. 6.
Cotton laces are good. Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, I'm still doing video yet, so I'm not going to be done for another half an hour-ish.
Cotton laces come with like as per it is, a bit like a
shoelace. Give me till
one end that's tied up.
No.
You slide the one end into your coil, pull it through, and then you cut it off where you want it, and it just makes it a lot easier. Makes it a lot easier to wick it, wrap it. Quite easy. But yeah,
we're not on about laces like this. We're on about laces. No. They've got like
the design. They've just got one end plastic, like a shoelace end, but it means you can feed it through your coil.
Yeah.
Obviously, like your Facebook user said, don't fire it. Warm it up to loosen all the crap on it, but let it cool down a little bit until it's not glowing orange. Then brush it. If you don't, then you brush it while it's hot. Effectively, that metal's brittle. So it's brittle at the point while it's warm. Then it will snap. It will bend, and you'll ruin your coil.
It'll damage it like that, isn't it?
These coils in here have been in. When did I buy it? About 6 months ago, maybe. These coils have been in from day. They've been in from day one. Look after them. You don't have any issues with them.
Yeah, they last forever, don't they? I mean, there is no moving parts unless you've blown it up. There's no reason why to change it at all. Other than just keep it clean. Just keep it clean. I've had one in mine for well over a year. The one that when I was doing them with drippers last year, and it's been on for well over a year, and it's still good. It's just that I don't use the thing anymore. But if I did, I'd still use the same bloody coil. As long as it's not rusty.
The problem is with coils, though, they are cheap enough that if you don't want to reuse it, i.e., clean it, mess about, you can just swap them. You can buy a pack, like say, 10 with 20 odd in. 20 odd would last you a good year.
Oh, yeah.
Your cotton, if you do your cotton right, you get a good 4 weeks, 5 weeks out of it, constant use.
Yeah.
The only problem with drippers that a lot of people don't like is you've got to carry that and that all the time to be able to keep dripping in.
Thank you, guys. Been a great help. I'm going to put got him a new Zeus and give it a go. Wish me luck. Anything else you need to know?
When you put it in, start off about say 60 watts, and then just slowly increase it to the point where it's burning comfortably. You don't go straight in at 80. You could get a squonk.
Black currant I've got different types of black currant, different brands.
Could get a squonk. All I would say is keep your cotton wet. You can never really over wet it. But
what size? Yeah. Okay.
Don't know what's happened with my screen here.
Yeah. Blueberry.
Don't know why I've gone off.
Okay, then.
If you over wet it.
Shut up. Grant, you've vanished.
I know. Give me a sec. I'll have to rejoin. I don't know what it's doing.
I bet your USB cameras come out. A squonker, for the people that don't know, it looks like this. It looks like any other kind of mod, but at the side you've got a little window, and in that window you can see a little rubber bottle or plastic bottle in it, which contains your juice. And you fill the bottle up, obviously, and then you push the bottle, and it makes it come out like a squeezy bottle, squeezing it, and it comes out at top, and it comes up a hole in the top of the device, and it comes up a hole in a pin in the actual tank itself, and it kind of spews out the bottom inside to the tank, you know, into the dripper. So that's how a squonker works. I don't like them either personally, because I'm forever wiping stuff down like this, because I just get covered in it. That's why I like a tank, because I'm clumsy and I just get covered in juice. But that's a squonker. But you can over squonk if you keep going. You're going to fill it up here. Do you know what I mean? And then it might start coming out your air holes and all sorts of stuff. So don't over squonk. They've been very popular in the past. I don't know that they're necessarily as popular now. You don't see quite as many people talking about squonkers now as they did till perhaps 12 months ago. But they're still obviously still around. We've just got a nice new little device. I only just noticed this. Liam must have got it in the other day. But it's a tank light. He's got this, and I've not seen this. I don't know where he got it from, but he's got Swag 2 power and style. What was this? A specification: resistance 0.3 to 5, output wattage 5 to 80. So this is an 80-watt device. 118/650. It's compatible with 510s. And the tank that's on it is the NRG PE. I don't know what PE stands for. Oh, it's that one then. It's got a nice finish to it. It's got that kind of almost semi rubber, do you know? Put it back on. It's almost semi rubber. I don't know what's under this little cap.
Looks good, does that?
Is that the battery? That's the battery compartment. Look.
That 18650 or 28?
18650, yeah. This is made by Peripheral. Peripheral Swag 2. It's a nice little thing, like, isn't it? A rechargeable thing there, look. Although most devices have got charging ports built into them. It's
not recommended, is it?
But it's kind of a backup. It's kind of a backup thing, isn't it? You know, if you
it's a driving down the motorway thing.
Yeah,
shit, your battery's going to die, and I ain't got one.
They just don't do it. They just basically charge. If you get a proper battery charger like the ones we've got here, the thing is that they check the batteries. You know, it reconditions them and all sorts of stuff like this. This is just a 2-bay one. I mean, you can see what it does on there.
Absolutely brilliant. They bring it down from a discharge. They rebuild your battery life. They tell you when it's full.
You know,
and you can't overcharge as well, because what it does is once it gets to a charge point, even if you leave it on overnight fully charged, it's effectively stops. It cuts it off, so it doesn't allow it to keep charging. Yeah,
that's what it is. That's why the one that's in this, it doesn't do any of that. It just basically just trickle charges it, which is obviously as an emergency.
But yeah, it's an emergency while you're monitoring it. Whereas if you plug into the bottom of this, it's all fine while you're sat here. But if you go to bed, it's still going to be trying to push a charge into a battery, so it has to then dissipate that somewhere, so it kicks the charge out. And you could vent your battery off if you overcharged it. Yeah, you can't just keep pumping power into it. You have to go in somewhere, can you? But it's going to work. So you see, I mean, these are not particularly dear. They may be about
15 quid or something like that. These they're not dear.
Obviously,
See,
Linda,
just
concentrate when you're doing it. Just take your time. Make sure when you put your coil in as well. If there is a metal, there's obviously usually around the bottom. There's a metal sort of. It's like a metal base with your brass connections in. Your coil should never be touching that metal at the bottom. Les is just showing you there. Obviously, it's the bottom of the coil. Now, what you might have, Linda, if you ever get a squonker, there is two types. You've got a solid one like that, which is your tank or RTA. If you're going to use a squonker, you need to change the bottom bit to one that's going to hold all the way through it, because if not, your liquid won't go up and through.
That's what I was just saying. You squeeze it at the side here, and it comes up through the hole into the wick. Some of them actually squirt the juice into the well, and there's another one, I forgot which one it is, but it squirts it from the top onto the wick. What's that one?
I can't remember. It drops it through the middle, doesn't it, and wets the top.
Yeah, it actually drops it.
And then any extra that drops through effectively dribbles back into the squonk tank at the bottom.
Yeah, because it's like you go like this and you squeeze it and it comes up, and then when you let go, it goes and sucks any excess back, which is pretty neat. Oh, we got on here. Any more comments?
And as you notice, you've got you get a lot of cloud as well. These are very good for cloud.
Yeah. Cloud equals flavour. You know, when you say people chucking the food, Jesus. Well, there's no need for that. It's because the reason that you're doing
flavour.
It's a better flavour. Yeah, it's like drinking putting more orange squash into your squash. It just makes it stronger, and it's the same with the vape. The more cloud, the more it sort of sticks to your mouth.
As you can see behind me, health and safety. It says on there when they put the fire alarm in, it says "Do not remove cover." It's ideal because it doesn't set it off.
That's trouble here in shop. There's fire things all over the place in here. In
the shop, they disable the alarm, the fire alarm between certain times of day, so you can filter shop. I don't think we've done it yet. Me and Liam's been close.
Yeah, we've done it in here. It actually gets that thick that it starts to float over the rest of the building, and it starts setting them off over there. It's not disabled. It's during the day. It's a heat detector, and during the night, it's a heat detector and a smoke detector. That's what it is. It's kind of,
so it'll still go off, but it won't go off when somebody's smoking. As you can see in there now, that's got a little bit dry. 70 VG juice, okay. Yeah, you can use 70 VG. Don't matter. Try and use your thicker juices a little bit, because if you use your thin ones, you don't get as many hits off it before having to refill it.
Hello. What? Now, yeah, I'm still doing video at the minute, so.
This one here. This one is 7. This one's 70/30. It's fine.
Mum chasing me.
Gotta go on for your tea.
Yeah.
70 VG is fine, because it's that little bit thicker. Obviously, if you start using your thin stuff, like your stuff you get in pound shops, that's the shit juice anyway. But that you'd have one, and it's like putting water in your coil. It'll just burn it and dry it off straight away.
It's going to be harsh on yourself to know.
You need it, and you need it thick for these, because they're all there's consistency in smoke. And if you're going to use a dripper, you want a cloud ultimately. So your 70/30s, you bang on for your cloud.
Yeah. If you use any more than 30% PG, especially if you're using it voluminously like that, what you're going to find is your mouth is going to be as dry as, Gandhi's flip flop. Because there's going to be no moisture left in your mouth because it's hygroscopic.
So basically, this is.
I'm blowing it for you. I ain't going on it. I'm going.
You can get. You can get big cloud, big cloud. You can without what Les has got. However, you need to pull more of it. Whereas these drippers, if you're set up correctly, it can literally be a. You don't have to pull as hard. You don't have to pull half as hard because it's a lot harsher on your lungs. It's a lot mouth to lung. It's a lot.
Everybody, there's no right and wrong way of vaping. This is what they get brought up. You're vaping it wrong. There's no right and wrong way of vaping. You vape how you want to vape. Whatever works for you.
We can only advise, because, like I say, that there is. It's nice to have a second counter on it as well. I think I've had it up to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds is a little bit harsh. But the flavour's different.
Mr. G, you're a cloudy fucker. That's Carl. It's amazing.
I don't know if I can do it. Hang on. I might be able to show you. See if we can find it.
That's the trouble with the way I vape. That will pretty much full on.
Here we go. See if we can do it.
Tonight, Matthew.
There you go. That's a bit of a. That was a mess about with a. That was a mess about with this rabbit when I got it. I thought, how many? I think I dripped onto it 4 times, filled to keep it wet, and I think I did about 10 or 12 full draws. I filled the shower.
Yeah, I thought I'll just go in the shower to try it. I've done it in car when I've been sat waiting for my mum. She's been in shower. I've just shut all windows and filled the car. And you can see people looking at the car thinking, what the friggin' hell's going on here? The flies out, and then they're looking at you thinking you're fighting.
If the wind's right and the person behind you's got the aircon on, you can actually blow it out, blow it into a fan system. It'll fill the car. I've done that a couple of times. People do look at you. You're driving down the road and you blow out the window and they're like, what the hell's going on there?
Yeah. It's illegal to vape and drive now, isn't it?
It's not illegal, but if you've got stars in their eyes and you're driving down the road like the smoke machine's gone off in your car, then yes. Yeah. But if you've got the window open, it's not an issue.
So it's not actually an issue then, as long as you've got your window open in your car, so it's venting rather than stuffing it. Is that the criteria?
As long as you're in control of your vehicle, you can see out your window. There's not an issue. If you have an accident as a result because you're vaping,
well, that would be hard to prove, like, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like you,
like you've been caught with on your mobile because there's a signal that says you were on your mobile. With a vape, it's not on here saying you were vaping when you crashed.
To be fair, with what Linda's saying, you don't use a lot more juice because the difference is if you're burning it, say you use 6 mil, I'm on 3. I use it all the time, so I use it all the time when I'm doing it. I can go without it, and you get a better hit off a dripper because it's literally a hit, an instant hit. Whereas your other vapes, they're designed to use them frequent. Whereas with that, you might use 2 or 3 good drags. You might not use it again for 20 minutes, half an hour. You don't use more juice. You feel like you are because you're dripping onto it, but you're not because it's just because you haven't got the well, you haven't got the sump. You're not even using a mill half the time when you're doing it. You're not even really using a mill. You're just literally wetting the coil, wetting the bottom. That, like you say, that one is one that I got from Les again. I've had that about 4 months, and I use it just with that. Whereas that I got, he sent me that. What was it? 3 weeks ago.
Something like that. Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, he sent me that, and that's just using it on a standard Mesh Pro. So you don't use much more, really.
That's where he's on there. To be able to. And that's where I'm currently on.
It's been a quite educating day, really.
It's good fun.
It's nice to come on and you know, answer questions, help people out,
Yeah.
share experiences with how I learn, because obviously I come in when I first met you, I didn't really have a clue, did I really? And
still don't have a clue.
No, but when it comes to, well, yeah, generally I don't have a clue, but when it comes to vaping and stuff, I've learned because I've either got it wrong or I've watched a video on how to do it.
Yeah.
If you type in on YouTube, Linda, what you've got, what the vape is, you can quite easily go on YouTube, type it in, and it'll show you exactly how to set that one up, because every single, like Les is saying, some drip to the top, some drip from the bottom, some have 2 coils on, some have 3 coils, some have 1 coil. Again, just YouTube it. You can't get it wrong. They'll give you the best advice. Or ask Liam to set it up for you, because if Liam sets it up for you, it'll blow your lungs off, but you'll get a good flavour.
Yeah. I mean, he sets it up for quite a few people. Somebody comes in and they want a dripper or something like that, he'll do it for them. It's not a problem.
It does take minutes when you know what you're doing.
Yeah, he enjoys it, like, doesn't he? That it's his thing.
Like, it takes minutes when you know what you're doing. Yeah, it's good. And to be fair, it's a lot cheaper than spending £3 and £4.50, £5 a time on these, because you only get a few weeks, whereas this you get months if you know, once you learn how to coil wick. And
yeah, it's a more economical way of doing it, isn't it? If you want it to be, but it's a little bit more involved. So it's kind of convenience versus cost, isn't it? That's top and bottom on it.
And these are more fun as well. Like you say, the big vapes are more fun. I use a little one for work. However, they are not bad.
They're pretty good little devices then. Yeah, I mean, that's cloudy enough, like, isn't it?
It is. But then you can also, if you want to take the top off, you spin it round that way.
Mouth to them. And
it's a little bit less. The only thing I find with some...
That is a good idea, I know.
Spin it round so you've got airflow and you've got no airflow, or minimal.
For that particular device, we've even got them little adapters, so you take the tank off, it just pulls off, and you drop the adapter in it, and you can use a normal 1810.
Yeah,
510
that
tank.
pulls off, and it just slots in there, and you screw a normal tank on. Very good as well, because it won't let you go any higher, because it won't let you go higher than what the coil's regulated to.
Safety features again, isn't it?
So you can never overcoil it, i.e. overcook it. With one of them, set it up, 80. You don't need no more than 80 on that. I will show you just because I'm on here, and I will show you. Put it on that. Let's put a bit more juice in it just before I do it. Obviously, that's cloudy at 80. But what I will say is, whack this on here. And that's banging out at 100 watts.
I mean, it's a great little device. Is that for money, isn't it? Really?
But again, you never need to go higher than 80.
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, this, I think, it goes up to 200 knot. I mean, what was going to fire it to 200 knot?
Well, I think
you'd be cooking eggs, wouldn't you?
That goes up to 228. But if you can build a coil and vape it at 228, then you've got some good lungs, because
has to be red hot and all, isn't it? Well, I mean,
be red hot, and ultimately your coil that's in it, you're gonna absolutely paint your coil.
Yeah. That's it. I'm out. I've gone. That's the full tank. Is that 5 mil in there? I think they're 5 mil in it. 5 mil in a frigging hour.
5 mil. 5 mil.
That's the only trouble with these sub-ohm tanks. If you give them, they give you it back.
I'll just quickly show you. I don't know if it's set up. I'll just have a look. Yeah, it is. It's set up. Obviously, this is your other option. Not so good because it's been sat for a while, but once you start pulling it through, you'll be all right. And I think it's got mint in it.
Always do that, don't they? If you've had your stood for a while, the first couple of pulls, it's almost like water, but it makes you cough, as you just say. It's because I don't know what it is, that. Perhaps it's oxidized, the bit that we're in, not coil.
They're good. They are good. But again, it's to mess about with these, because you've got an inner sleeve, and then you've got the actual coils. You need to make sure the coils aren't touching the metal inside as well. So they're a lot more fidgety and finicky messing about. Whereas
that one's got a metal cap, hasn't it? A metal bell cap.
Yeah, I've got.
Oh, it's gone again.
I've also got this little one as well, which, again, it's perfect, but it's not half as good as the Rabbit.
No. I mean, they're very popular for
it's
a
all
reason.
About trial and error. It is. It's trial and error. A lot of vaping's trial and error. What suits me and Les might not suit you and your mate.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's individual. That's what it is. It's got to be tailored to an individual. It's the same as when people
obviously
wanting to start from. It's difficult.
These, we've got dual airflow as well, so you've got your holes, or you can have your fully open.
You just turn it around to expose either the holes or the slot.
Or you just turn it. It's a bit tight to do. Generally, what I do is I just line it up on this side like that. Line it up with what I want. Push it on.
Yeah.
Plus, you're not burning the rub. You're not twisting the rubber bung inside as well, so you still got a good seal.
Yeah.
Zeus is there Zeus? Is it a RTA or is it a RDA?
We're just on about we're not going to be opening next week. We're going about this virus and that's still been around and all the rest of it. Are you expecting any problems next week with general public or?
To be fair, people have sort of got into the mode of now stuff's opening. They've got into the mode of let's keep away from everybody and things will stay open because everybody knows that people know, don't they? If you start messing about and pissing about and having stupid gatherings and parties and this, that, and the other, everything will close again.
Yeah. Well, they're already.
Obviously, the government's now doing it into areas. So, for instance, say there's a big Featherstone. Say there's a big outbreak in Featherstone. They'll put that whole area on restrictions, whereas they're not going to put the country on restrictions. They're going to bring it so it's as long as the people in your area don't piss about, then you're all right.
Yeah. I mean, we've all seen these gatherings that they've had with protests and that. I mean, you can't understand it, can you? What's going through the mind where they got these thousands of people all crammed together, and they know what the situation is, but it seems to be.
Well, they had a protest. They had a protest in Hull yesterday, and everybody social distanced.
Is there? Well, that's all right.
They were all stood in little groups, 2 meters apart.
Yeah, the ones I saw at telly, they're all just crammed together.
Yeah.
Like
the only other thing with a dripper, what I will say, Les will agree. With a dripper, you've got your sub-ohm tanks, make a lot of cloud. Your windows get a little bit. Whereas if you're using a dripper, your windows get really, really sticky pretty quick.
It'll start looking foggy outside, but it's actually the stuff that's stuck to your window.
I need to clean my car window because my car window's a bit foggy when sun's on it, just because I'm. But it's good. Obviously, if you get any issues setting it up, drop one of us a message. We'll sort it out.
Well, I'm going to have to call it a day because I've got customers coming for this stuff now. I can't think of anything else that we need to be saying. I mean, we've had a good little video today, haven't we? A little chat, a little actual vape
Not a
video.
bad video. It's been a good educational vape video rather than a let's talk about anything else and everything.
Yeah, because next week
it is good to come on and no, it's Cactus next week, isn't it? It is good to come on though, and like you say, and share sort of experiences and help people out, because that's what it's here for. It's the vape community. Everybody is there as a community to sort of give ideas and share knowledge and
because we've all got to start somewhere, haven't we? We all start at the beginning.
You've got to start somewhere, and
I mean,
you learn very quick.
You do, we get people that come in and say, "Oh, I want a vape," and they'll come first time they've had it and they want something like that. And I mean, it's just asking for trouble because they haven't got no experience, and that's going to be too much for them, and it'll put them off, and that'll be end of it.
I've still got my first ever one, and it was literally the first ever vape I got. Within about a week, I'd gone to your tanks, your little these are Arterial.
Nice little one. Yeah.
Everything. Les's mum got me into this one. She were adamant the coil wasn't burning out, but it was. She just never changed it. And then I've gone to your big that runs on your 2700s.
They're fatter batteries.
Which are a bit bigger, and obviously I've got two of these. I've got a Smock X Priv. I don't use it shit really. I use this and the Rabbit. Next one I'm going to get off Les is the next one I'm going to get off you. Is that what he had last week? What your mate's got?
Which
is it? Foxy. What he's got that one that's really smooth. The one that's really smooth.
I don't know. Juice, you mean?
Can't remember what it's called. I know what it looks like, but there's one in it.
You mean mod?
Mod. Yeah, there's a mod he's got that you were selling. I think it's about 60 quid, 65 quid, or something like that.
I don't know which one it is. I am.
It's very smooth, but it's got one of the fancy chips in it. So you press it and it knows exactly what you're doing and it regulates it all. You can program it on your computer. You can change it, but you need to know what you're doing to use them. You don't. It's not a beginner's. It's not beginner's vape.
Yeah, a lot of people come in and ask for a vape on aesthetics. It's the one that they like the look of, which is not really the right way of doing it. Not to start with, anyway. When you get into it,
there's a lot liking the look of it. I like the look of it, yeah, it is, but it's not going to be the one for you because, like you say, if you're going to burn your lips and you're going to cough your guts up for the first few, you're going to go, I'm not going to vape. It's crap. I'm making a choke. And
it's not for me. Yeah, it's all a matter of getting you started on the right footing. If you get started on the wrong footing, you may as well not bother starting because you've gone wrong to start with. Get it right first time, and then you can progress into the other mods as it goes along. You're getting ready to leave.
But anyway, let's. I'm going to get myself off. And
you've got to get now. I'll see you later then, Mr. G.
Sounds gone.
Right, well, that's Grant is gone. It's been nice to see Grant again. We've had a lovely little chat video today, haven't we? Next week, I'm going to be bringing in some cactus to show you. Cactus and some what they call living stones, lithops. You're going to be fascinated with them, I promise you. I've got quite a few cactus plants. So I'm going to bring some in for you next week, just basically something to show, a bit of variety, you know. But in the meantime, I've got to get this order done. So I shall catch you next Saturday at 12:30. In the meantime, you take care. Don't forget to subscribe to the Facebook group if you've not already done so, which is there. That is the link. Just join that, and it's free to join, obviously, and you can get lots of information and stuff. You can ask questions, and all the members will answer it for you. There's a couple of thousand people in there now, so there's plenty of information for you. Subscribe to that. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, of course, so you get notifications, and that is Life with Les on YouTube. Other than that, I think that's about it. So you take care, and I shall see you next week for Saturday locking. See you later.